Good afternoon, one sober to another. Hi, I'm Wayne and I'm an alcoholic. In this video, we're going to talk about everything to get out of your head, part 2. So, if you haven't taken the time to subscribe to the channel because one sober to another only gets better if you're a part of it. Your experience, strength, and hope is something that can save my life, and mine can hopefully be a part of what saves yours. So getting out of your head, part 2. Here we are at the Lichtenberg Castle. In Germany, it's one of the largest castle ruins that there is in this country. The reason I'm standing here is because everybody needs to decompress. Part of making amends is being able to take the burdens off of your shoulder instead of carrying it around like these stones that are all around me. What better way to decompress than to get outside and get away from yourself, much like we talked about before in Getting Out of Your Head, part 1. Before we go any further, if you get value from these videos, hit that like button below, as well as there are some things you can check out for the free giveaway that is still available on the Free Your Ghost bracelet. So what is it you do in order to relax and decompress? You made your amends, you made your burdens go off of your shoulders, you're able to relax, you can breathe a little bit. Now what? Now you still have all these feelings in your head. How do you get away from them and get outside of yourself? Well, like we talked about in the last video, you get outside. For me, it's getting outside, it's working out. I work out 5 times a week. This morning I worked out, then I shot the daily reflections, then I went for a drive with my son, then I washed my car, then I cleaned the house, and now I'm here at the castle talking to you to help you find something to do. With COVID-19 and everything else that is going on, there's a whole lot to be stressed about. So why not take a break from all that in order to decompress and stop yourself from ruminating and building all of these thoughts in your head that are gonna only take you backwards if you lean on them too hard. What can you do? So, you're at home, you're in the United States, there's mask regulations here and there, there's rules for going to this place, rules for going to that place. Go somewhere that there's not any rules. Or if you are in your house, do something with your children, do something with your spouse, your wife, or your son, or your girlfriend, or your boyfriend, or whatever your case is, There is so much that you can do to take a break from all those thoughts that go on, to just breathe and get away, because that's what it is breathing. Take it in, take that daily reflection that you got in the morning from one sober to another, apply it in your life for that day, find something to do to decompress. I said decompress a few times, so there's a little bit of key to how our brain behaves with decompression. Now, I'm not a psychologist, a social worker, a counselor. I'm not a doctor. All I am is one sober talking to another, just like every day. If you hear a few people in the background, that's because all of them are out here finding something else to do outside of their normal day. So, inside of your head, you get stuck with all these random thoughts, your to-do list from last week, your to-do list from now, the things that you didn't do, the people that you should have saw, the people that you didn't see, the apologies that you should have made, the ones that you didn't, and on and on and on and on. It becomes these stressors that you might not be able to break away from. When I work out, I put all of my effort into working out. I start out with my preparation drills to get my body ready for the exercise. I start with my abdominals. I work my abdominals and my legs before I actually start to work out. And then I go into my workout routine. I pump a lot of extra repetitions just to emphasize to my muscles. I shock them so that they wake up. It's the same way that you have to do to your mind, because your mind is so used to running that racetrack in your addiction, in your alcoholism, in your drug addiction and your gambling addiction, your sex addiction, whatever the case is, your brain is so used to running that same track. Unless you shock it with something different, it's always going to be the same, and it's going to be that much harder to break away from the normal routine that you have. So when I shock my body in the morning, I always want to start out with a high weight, low rep intensity workout. So that way I wake those muscles up immediately, and they know that there's something coming, and they're shocked by what I just gave them. So now they're forced to work a little bit harder for each repetition after that, because now they think that they have to perform a little bit differently. Same way with your brain. If you walk the same way home every day from school, or you drive the same way home every day from work, you are so used to doing it. And I know you can relate to this, that sometimes you literally fall asleep at the wheel, but you somehow get home, right? Dangerous, by the way. But your body and brain are so used to the same thing that they've mapped it out. When you are trying to, well, let me rephrase that. When I came into sobriety and I started my recovery, I had to break away from the people, places, and things that I knew for that entire duration that I spent saturating my mind with alcohol and corrupting my body with the toxins, that I had to change up where I went. I had to change up who I saw. I had to change up what I talked about, even what I was buying. I had to change these things in my life to make it a little bit easier for me to transition into sobriety and a life without alcohol. Now, getting out of your head is more than just getting away from your substance, as I explained already. So once we change up our people, places, and things, you can enjoy not only something new, but you rewire your brain to think about how you think about things. The way you thought about your alcohol was different. The way you thought about your drugs are different. The way you think about gambling is different. And if you continue to think about sobriety in the same manner, and you're in the same places and you see the same people, you're gonna bring up triggers, and I would always be stuck thinking about alcohol or thinking about the same routine. Matter of fact, this is a shout out to Ella. Ella is in rehab right now, and or she should be, she better be. So she went to rehab, and I gather that maybe there's cell phone privileges in the evening or computer privileges. But so without diming out too much information, she had brought up that she still has the number for her drug dealer on her phone. That's a dangerous game to play. And so if you're getting away, if you're carrying these things around and you're carrying these opportunities that will put you back to where you came from or slow down your recovery, perhaps it's time to change it up, which is why we're outside here at Lichtenberg Castle. And if anyone knows where this is, I'm not going to tell you where my home is, because that's insanity. But anyway, so the whole point is, Ella, good luck. Next, get rid of your drug dealer's phone number. Also, learn to get outside of yourself and outside of your head, because that's a dangerous game to play. And for that purpose, here we are. And there are many more things that you can do aside from working out and aside from going to visiting a tourist place or something like that. Go to lunch with somebody that you haven't gone to lunch with in a long time, who is not your drug dealer and who is not your old drinking buddy. And just talk to them in general. Say something that you don't normally say to people. Like, I know when I was drinking, I totally isolated, and the most I would say to somebody is, how much do I owe you for these 30 beers that you just delivered to my door? That's the extent of my conversation for the day. So, get outside, enjoy the weather, enjoy your time, rewire your brain. And if you've enjoyed what you've seen here so far and you'd like to learn more about the sobriety recovery and everything else that comes along with this positive lifestyle change, subscribe to the channel and hit that like button below. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. And guess what, guys? I'll see you in the next one.